All right, let's talk about something we all deal with: communication breakdowns. Today, we're going to dig into why our messages get so twisted around, and more importantly, figure out how to make sure what you say is actually what gets heard.
Oh, you've been there, right? That horrible sinking feeling when you send a text and it lands completely wrong. Or maybe you've tried to explain this amazing idea you have and you just get blank stares. It happens to all of us, and we're about to find out why.
These little communication hiccups, they're just a part of life. They happen with your friends, in class, and you can bet they happen at work. But here's the thing, just understanding what's going on is the first huge step to fixing it. Because look, getting this right is so much more than just avoiding an awkward text. It's a legit skill for building good relationships, for working well with a team, and for making sure people actually listen to you. Honestly, it's the key to really succeeding at, well, pretty much everything. So, all these things that get in the way, these invisible walls that pop up out of nowhere when we're talking, they actually have a name. They're called communication barriers. And if we want to tear them down, we first got to know what we're looking at. So, put simply, a communication barrier is anything that gets in the way of a clear message. It could be something obvious, like a language difference, or something way more subtle, like a weird look. Just think of it like static on the radio. It's that noise that messes up the signal between you and the other person.
And while there are a million different kinds of static out there, most of them fall into four main categories. So let's dive in and meet the four biggest culprits behind why we misunderstand each other. First up, let's talk about cultural differences. And this is so interesting because every culture has its own set of unwritten rules for how we're supposed to communicate. What's totally normal and polite in one place might come across as rude or weird in another. If you don't know the rules, it's super easy to get things wrong.
For example, imagine you're in an online class working on a project with a teammate from Brazil. For you, meeting at noon means being ready to go at 12 sharp. But your teammate might see time as more flexible. Now, neither of you is wrong. It's just a different cultural view. But if you don't talk about it, it can definitely lead to some serious frustration.
Now, your culture is just one thing that shapes how you see the world. It shapes your perception. And that brings us to our second huge barrier: the fact that we all have our own unique point of view. Think about this. You and a friend go see the exact same movie. You walk out saying, "That was incredible," and they say, "That was the worst movie ever." You saw the same scenes, heard the same lines, so what gives? Well, everything in your life, your past experiences, your beliefs, even your mood that day shapes how you see things. You literally experienced a different reality from the same set of facts. That's perception for you, and it's a huge barrier. Our third barrier is a really big one today. It's all about the medium, or using the wrong channel to communicate. In our super digital world, how you say something is sometimes way more important than what you say.
I mean, just think about it. Texting your boss about a serious problem at work, it might be fast, but wow, is it risky. You lose all the important stuff like tone of voice and facial expressions. A face-to-face chat, on the other hand, lets you clear things up right away. It's just a way better choice for anything complicated or important.
And our final barrier is semantics. Now, that sounds like a fancy word, but it's really just about the meaning of words. We kind of assume that everyone knows what a word means, but that's just not true. The same word can mean totally different things to different people. Okay, picture this. It's your first day working at a cafe. The manager walks over and asks, "Can you handle the till?" If you've never heard that word for a cash register before, you're suddenly in a really awkward spot. Do you ask what they mean and maybe look like you don't know what you're doing? Or do you just nod and hope for the best? Yeah, that's a semantic barrier right there.
So, how do we start knocking down these walls? It really boils down to four things. You've got to learn to spot these potential problems, be willing to talk through different points of view, be smart about how you choose to communicate, and finally, just make sure the words you're using are crystal clear.
You know, when you start to get a handle on all this, it honestly feels like you've unlocked a superpower. Suddenly, you have this ability to connect with people, to get your ideas across, and to just feel way more confident in pretty much any situation. So, why does all of this really matter? Because being a good communicator is the foundation for success, period. It's going to make you a better problem solver and a better teammate. It will help you lead. It's the difference between just getting by and absolutely crushing it.
So, we've broken down the four major roadblocks: cultural differences, perception, using the wrong channel, and semantics.
Now I'm going to throw it back to you. Think about a time you hit one of these communication walls. What happened? And now that you know all this, what might you do differently next time?